There's an odd tranquility inside the 2017 Ford F-150 Raptor when it is broken free from the chains of gravity. That brief moment when your monkey brain realizes the smartphone you left on the console is now hovering next to you. We generally wouldn't reflect on this in an ordinary road test, because jumping ordinary cars results in a yard sale of debris. But the Raptor has never been ordinary, not from the moment it debuted in 2008 and became a cult hit, and especially not in this bolder, more capable second iteration. We've already sampled the new Raptor in California's open desert, where its fortified, long-travel suspension and new 3.0-inch Fox internal bypass shocks can be exercised at high speed as Ford Performance intended. We also know from experience with the first-gen truck that the new Raptor's electronic locking rear differential and available torsion limit slip front differential with 4.10 to 1 gears will let it slog through mud and crawl over rocks. But there's only one place in Michigan where we could certify the Raptor's awesomeness on our terms, the coastal sand dunes of Silver Lake State Park, on the west side of the Mitten. Got sand? The park's 450-acre off-road area is where Ford spent many development hours on the expanses of soft, undulating sand, which can seriously tax a vehicle's chassis, drivetrain, and cooling systems. Here, even the Raptor has to run significantly reduced tire pressures for effective traction. And there are plenty of jumps, from the roller coasters of towering dunes to smaller berms that can hurl 3 tons of pickup into the air like it was the General Lee. The 2017 Raptor's 13.0 inches of front suspension travel and 13.9 inches at the rear are modest in the greater off-road world, despite increases of 1.8 and 1.9 inches over its predecessor. But the updated Fox dampers are masterful within that range, ever more deft at soaking up smaller bumps as speeds climb, yet able to absorb the truck's full girth falling from the heavens. After we scoped out the perfect dune for a smooth, shallow slope and a gently angled landing area, the Raptor dropped jaws as it launched through the sky in lazy arcs before landing in a cushioned poof, its trick hydraulic bump stops guarding the chassis against crashing into the earth. What pictures don't convey about our menacing shadow black test truck is its sheer size. The new swollen fender design may be more effective than the originals at masking the Raptor's lane-clogging width, but this full Ford or SuperCrew has a limo-like cabin stretching 11.9 inches longer than the extended cab supercab version. Both models share a 5.5-foot cargo box. Measuring more than 19 feet long, 231.9 inches with a beam 6.4 inches broader than a regular F-150's 86.3 inches, the Raptor is a Peterbilt next to a Toyota Tacoma. Our 5,924-pound example is a significant 360 pounds lighter than the previous Raptor, thanks mostly to the new aluminium bodywork, but it still has about 450 pounds on a similar 2017 F-150. Fun fact, the Raptor fits in an automatic car Washington, the rabid fandom ignited by the original Raptor, which we saw in the wildly modified F-150's prowling Silver Lake at high speed, moved Ford's engineers to build upon its foundation while better integrating the entire package. There continue to be massive control arms and coil springs in front, a leaf-sprung solid axle out back, and 17-inch forged aluminum beadlock-capable wheels with huge BF Goodrich all-terrain Tark KO2 tires, sized 31,570. Ford also broadened the scope of the Raptor's four-wheel drive transfer case. It still can lock the axles together in normal and low ranges, but adds an integrated clutch for improved forklift torque shifts when in all-wheel drive mode, which is most effective on the street, where the BFG tires struggle for grip. The new Raptor benefits even more from the greater refinement of the latest F-150. Both share a 2017 10 Best Truck and SUV award, along with vastly improved structural rigidity and ride quality. Where the old truck used to shake, jiggle, and clomp off-road, the 2017 version feels supple and smooth. its body calm and level as the suspension dances over washboard terrain at highway speeds. More important, the Raptor performs these feats with all the drama of a trip to 7-Eleven, so you needn't have run the Baja 1000 to get the most out of it, although you could with minimal modifications. Just be mindful that you can high center this extra long Ford on hilltops, despite 11.5 inches of ground clearance, and its 30-degree approach angle is shallow enough to scuff the nose on steep takeoffs. Ford's new 10-speed automatic transmission, co-developed with General Motors, links the engine with the Raptor's advanced suite of chassis electronics. A rocker switch on the steering wheel toggles through 6 driving modes: normal, sport, weather, mud sand, Baja, rock crawl. The mud sand setting we used at Silver Lake, for example, put the Raptor in 4-wheel drive, locked the rear differential, sharpened the action from the engine and gearbox, lightened the electrically assisted steering, and dialed back the stability control intervention, which we ultimately fully deactivated. While the 10-speed usually toils away smoothly to keep the turbocharged V6 on boil, during our off-road excursions it frequently slowed shifts as if it were a CVT. Sport mode was our preferred setting on the street because it firmed and hastened gear changes and minimized the initial lag from the engine. While throttle response is excellent in Baja and Sport modes, the 10-speed sometimes can be reluctant to upshift and can stumble for gears when pressed with rapid throttle inputs. You can't miss the massive paddle shifters behind the steering wheel, but they simply aren't responsive enough to help with managing all those ratios yourself. Once a driver is acclimated to the way frenzied motorists dive out of the truck's path when its huge Ford grille fills their rear view mirrors, the Raptor is quite impressive on the road. The front sport seats are supportive and firm, and the steering action is precise if numbed by the big tires. While our sound meter showed the Raptor to be notably louder at full throttle than a standard F-150 with a 3.5-litre EcoBoost 679 decibels to the regular truck's 73, it was only slightly noisier at a 70 miles per hour cruise. Lateral grip is unsurprisingly low at 0.71 grams. But the extra-wide stance affords great stability in all situations, and the soft suspension still maintains solid control over extreme body motions. Bombing down a twisty back road is not only possible but entertaining in the way a monster truck would be on an autocross course. Raptor don't care if you clip an apex too tight or run onto the shoulder. Stopping performance, however, is severely hampered by the chunky rubber and limited space for brakes within the 17-inch wheels, which are completely packed with 13.8-inch front rotors gripped by two-piston calipers and singular piston, 13.7 inches in back. Our truck's 212-foot stop from 70 miles per hour was 37 feet longer than the comparable 2017 F-150s and faded to 225 feet by the 4th consecutive stop. And it's best not to think about fuel economy. The EPA rates the SuperCrew at 15 miles per gallon city and 18 highway, but we could manage only 12 miles per gallon over 1,300 miles. Our time playing in the sand was removed from our fuel calculations. Fortunately, the crew cab's tank holds 36 gallons of fuel versus the SuperCab's 26.